Warm greetings. Today is Friday, August 14, 2026. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. At the time of recording this video, it is 7:30 in the morning, local time in the Eastern Caribbean, where we continue to monitor Invest 92 and Invest 94. A few minutes ago, the National Hurricane Center just updated the tropical outlook, where they have decreased the chances of development of Invest 92 to only 20%, and the window for tropical development is already closing. In fact, as we can see in the visible satellite animation, wind shear is beginning to affect the disturbance and will not allow it to develop before crossing over the Lesser Antilles tomorrow. However, notice that the disturbance is accompanied by rainfall activity that will affect the southern half of the Lesser Antilles, where some heavy showers and gusty winds are anticipated, which we will discuss later in this video. And in the case of Invest 94, the National Hurricane Center maintains a 30% chance of development during the next 48 hours and a 50% chance of development during the next 7 days as it moves toward the west-northwest. And although it is still too early to know exactly how close or far it will pass from the northeastern Caribbean, the models project that it could develop into a short-lived tropical depression or tropical storm, but lose strength as it approaches the northeastern Caribbean. And returning to Invest 92, this morning no model develops the disturbance. In fact, they all have it losing intensity as it approaches the Caribbean, thanks to wind shear. So for residents of the southern half of the Lesser Antilles, what is anticipated during the next 48 hours are some locally heavy showers with rainfall accumulations between 50 and 75 millimeters according to the American model, and the European model projects between 50 and 75 millimeters with some areas that could accumulate up to 100 millimeters. So Invest 92 will definitely be beneficial because of the rainfall it could leave across the Lesser Antilles. And in the case of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, accumulated rainfall will be low with estimates between 25 and 50 millimeters or between 1 and 2 inches. But remember that the disturbance will be producing wind gusts between 35 and 40 miles per hour for the northern half of the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic between Saturday and Sunday. So use caution, especially if you will be visiting the coastlines, and marine conditions in the Caribbean Sea will be dangerous. Let us now move on to give more details about Invest 94, which is already near longitude 35 degrees west. And this morning we have seen an increase in the area of convection with showers and thunderstorms, but for the moment they remain disorganized. In order for a tropical depression or tropical storm to form, this area of convection must persist for several hours, and we will be watching to see if, unlike Invest 92, Invest 94 manages to undergo tropical development. In terms of track, the specialized models remain consistent that it will move toward the west during the next 3 days and then take a turn more toward the west-northwest. And there is good consensus that it will eventually pass about 100 to 300 miles northeast of the Lesser Antilles, but of course, this can change depending on how the disturbances organization process evolves. For the moment there is no reason for concern in the Caribbean. We will only be monitoring it. And the reality is that the models agree that it should at least remain relatively weak during the next 4 to 5 days, perhaps in the worst-case scenario, reaching a maximum intensity of a strong tropical storm. But the vast majority of the global models, with the exception of the Canadian model and the American model, do not show the development of a tropical depression. If we look at the ensemble members of the American model, although some of them do have a tropical depression or tropical storm forming in about 5 days, all of them weaken it and dissipate it as it passes northeast of the Caribbean. And for example, Google's DeepMind model, which was very accurate during the past year, in the latest run, none of the members develops even a tropical depression, just like the ensemble members of the European model. So this leads us to conclude that although Invest 94 could eventually develop into a tropical depression or tropical storm, after it crosses longitude 50 degrees west, conditions do not appear to be optimal for development or strengthening. And that is precisely what the American model shows us, which develops a tropical depression during the morning hours on Sunday, and as it moves toward the west-northwest, it gradually loses strength between Wednesday and Thursday until dissipating it when it passes northeast of the Caribbean. So once again and for the moment in the Caribbean we should not be concerned about Invest 94, we will only be watching for any significant changes in the projections. Well, that is all for this morning's video. During the afternoon hours I will record a new update for you. So that you do not miss this content, I invite you to give this video a like. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell so that you receive notifications when I record new videos. I hope everyone has an excellent Friday. See you later.